we are going, Shaumbra, what we're going to be doing, kind of entering into our next phase, you could say. 3 things. First, consciousness. You're going to get sick of the word consciousness. Consciousness is going to be so important. Consciousness is simply awareness, realization, but at a level you can't have imagined before in your logical mind. Consciousness, the awareness that goes into every level, every realm, not just awareness of facts and figures. That is rather meaningless. Not just awareness that there's a person sitting next to you, that's obvious. But consciousness, awareness, that we'll get into in a moment, but of things so much richer and more fulfilling. So consciousness, awareness, it's the I exist. Awareness, but not thinking awareness. Awareness where actually there is almost no active thought. Awareness so that there are no words any longer, no need for words, no need for definition, any of that. That is consciousness. That's where we're going, consciousness, awareness, I exist. This isn't just another discipline. It's not another practice. It is everything. Consciousness is everything. We're not going to talk too much about consciousness because otherwise it goes mental. We will be applying consciousness. But in doing so, you're going to go through a lot of challenges. You're going to try to think your way through it. You're going to try to make logic of it. I'm going to wrestle you down to the ground and try to get you out of your mind and into yourself. The next word, very important. We've talked about it in Kihak, and it will become even more and more important part of your vocabulary and will allow you to have richness and joy in life. And, A-N-D, and. It's an A and D. And it's going to be so important in what we're doing because you're going to realize that your body can be in pain and it's not. And you can be having other amazing experiences. You're not singular anymore. You can be logical and absolutely sensual. You can be in the grips of this magnetic fear and sitting beside a lake, watching the butterflies and singing songs and enjoying a bottle of wine. Humans are singular. Are you annoyed and what else? Charmed. I see it. I absolutely see it, yes. Annoyed and so in love with Spock. And, so simple. But if you went out and tried to explain it to others, they would just kind of look at you. But you're going to be living the and life, meaning you could be having a bad day and equally a good day. Now, that does not make sense. That is not logical.
Actually, that does.
That does. That does not make sense, but it absolutely is natural. Isn't that the funny thing? You become so calculated in everything. You squeeze life out of life. Worse than that, you take consciousness out of consciousness. What's here and what's missing at the same time? Consciousness, life itself. It's here. It's all here. We're not going anyplace. Not going anyplace. We're just realizing that it's here and it's not here. And that's what the master knows. The master doesn't suddenly have realization that ends their own stupidity, their own innocence, their own vulnerability. Doesn't it suddenly have this realization that gives them all the intelligence in the world? No, they're going to be and. They're intelligent and stupid. They're vulnerable and they're so open. And imagine for a moment all these attributes and the amazing ability to be innocent, naive, stupid almost, and to know everything. Amazing. Amazing. That's where we're going to go. And so we're not really going to enlightenment. That would be very singular. Oh, it's about and. You can be that human and absolute master. It'd be a little uncomfortable at first because the mind is not used to it. The mind says, follow that path, do this thing, or go to sleep. But it's not used to multi. It's not used to and. So what do you do when you get uncomfortable? Oh yeah, and I'm uncomfortable. And I'm realizing. And damn, it's really hard on my body. And it's not really. And I don't have a body. And I have a light body. Now, one would basically say it's kind of schizophrenic. So, by the way, do not tell your therapist about this, please. Not a word. This is just between us. It seems a little fragmented, but it's not. It's not at all. Suddenly you realize that there was a reason in the first place for being able to create aspects, not to chase them away, but to create them. And you can start living in this beautiful combination, multidimensional, aspected, logical way of being. And it's multi-you. Multi-you. Now, that brings up a very interesting question. I'll go to my question. That brings up an interesting question. You're going to say, well, what is truth? What is reality? And there is no truth. There is none. Stop searching for truth. It doesn't work. There's no meaning in life. Sorry, there's no truth because it all becomes the truth. There's no single truth in the core of the universe hidden away somewhere. There's not. The truth is, it's all truth. And if you want to really say, but where do I find my base, my balance? It's so chaotic, I have to find that comfortable place every once in a while. I exist. That's it. That's it. And the rest is and. And third, very important here, in our work, our joy that we're going to be doing together. We have consciousness, we have and then finally, very important element is the synchronous or syncing it all together. Imagine being such the master, you don't care if you're out of sync. You don't care if you got all these fragments and aspects and unrealized self and all this. Wow, that's kind of fun today, playing out of sync. Because you know then the moment you apply your consciousness, applied consciousness, you just say, oh yeah, now I'm going to go back into integration, being in sync. So imagine in this end of mastery, one day you could just be out of sync. Oh crap, this is fun, my house just burned down. I don't care though, because there's another bigger one being built. And I don't care about that either. That is embodied mastery. The ability to be and, to be all these things, wherever you want to apply your consciousness, and it will never get stuck there. Not even in perfection. Trust me, that's so boring. Have fun with it. And then you start gliding back and forth in time. You start traversing the dimensions. You start experiencing the and applied consciousness. And then after that, you start learning, it's not a good word yet, I'll make one up, but you start being able to split consciousness. So right now you think, okay, I'm going to put my consciousness here into being synchronized, and then here. Suddenly you're both at once. And then you're beyond synchronized. And it just keeps going on and on and on and on in the ability to be multi-consciousness, multi-awared. It's amazing.